want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president and your 45th president.
And just in, former President Donald Trump is now the winner of the 2024 presidential election. In the last hour, we've learned the Associated Press saying Trump has secured the 270 electoral votes necessary to return to the White House. It's already been called one of the most remarkable political comebacks in our history, and this will make him the first president to win non-consecutive terms in more than a century. Good morning to you. Thanks for joining us on DC News Now. I'm Corey James.
Good morning. I'm Tanaya Wright. Thanks for joining DC News Now for your election results. Big changes also coming to the U.S. Senate last night. Now here you can see where the Senate stands now. Republicans taking over the balance of power with at least 51 seats. Now there are still 7 seats or some races that have not yet been called.
And looking across the DMV, Democrat Angela Alsobrooks with a big win in Maryland. She tops former Republican Governor Larry Hogan, who kept the seat blue. Also in Virginia, incumbent Democrat Tim Kaine handles the challenge from Republican Hung Cao. He will serve the people of Virginia until 2030.
And we are live capturing these results and what they mean to people in the DMV. Our Marie Sase is in Prince George's County this morning, covering Alsobrooks' historic win. Our Candace Cole is in Alexandria with what 6 more years means for Tim Kaine.
And Shanika Grimshaw is going to have the latest on the roads in just a second, but meteorologist Jackie Lear with the forecast this morning and a warmer than usual start to the day for this time of the year.
I know, it is quite mild out there right now. We're starting off with temperatures in those lower 60s. We're seeing that right now in D.C. Also 63 to start off in Manassas, 61 Hagerstown. We're upper 50s to low 60s back out towards parts of the I-81 corridor as well. Now, as we take a wider look at satellite and radar, that cold front continuing to advance closer towards our area with some of that rain. Now, we won't really see much of that rainfall, though, although we do really need it. We do have a chance for an isolated shower back out towards the mountains region later on this afternoon, but the rest of the area, any rain chance holds off to at least after sunset. If you're trying to plan out the rest of your day today, those high temperatures will be right around 80 degrees. We're going with a high of 81 degrees in D.C. That would break the old record of 80 set back in 2015. And not only will D.C. see that chance for some record-breaking warmth, we could also break the records in Martinsburg, Hagerstown, and for other parts of the area. Today, though, again, warmer and breezy. That isolated shower chance back out towards the mountains. Tomorrow, high temperatures into the 70s. And we'll see an isolated shower chance into the afternoon as that front tries to push its way across the area. We'll certainly have more cloud cover out there for your Thursday. And then we'll see some seasonable air returning for the weekend. More details on that coming up. Shanika, racing on the roads.
All right, good morning, Jackie. Well, here's what we're dealing with at the top of the 6 o'clock hour. 2 crashes in northern Virginia, one in Centerville, really not causing much of an issue anymore. You're still seeing just slight delays in the area right near 28 heading eastbound. Now on 50, not too far, you will see a crash heading westbound, and that's towards Sully Road. So those are the 2 in Virginia. You have a disabled vehicle on the outer loop, and that is moved to the shoulder just past Georgia Avenue, so right in Forest Glen. For your drive times this morning, still running very smooth on 70 heading east and west, 270 heading southbound. It's going to take you roughly 50 minutes and then 15 on the outer loop.
All right, Shanika, thank you. Donald Trump will be the 47th president of the United States.
The Associated Press saying the former president has secured enough electoral votes to push him over the 270 mark, beating Vice President Kamala Harris. Now, in terms of the swing states, Trump won Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, and likely several others. On the stage with him earlier this morning when he was speaking, his family, Vice President-elect J.D. Vance, and House Speaker Mike Johnson. Trump says his win marks a new day for America, with many changes coming.
We're going to do the best job. We're going to turn it around. It's got to be turned around. It's got to be turned around fast. This will forever be remembered as the day the American people regained control of their country.
Now, Trump also congratulated other down-ballot Republican winners in his victory speech. And Kamala Harris hosted her watch party at her alma mater of Howard University.
Yeah, so far the vice president has not addressed her supporters at Howard or the nation. Her team says that is expected to happen sometime today. Meantime, here is a look at Howard University last night. This is the Harris watch party that took place on campus. Thousands of supporters gathered in Northwest to support the vice president. But that crowd started thinning after midnight when the chance of a second Trump presidency appeared more likely.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for believing in the promise of America. We still have votes to count. We still have states that have not been called yet. We will continue overnight to fight to make sure that every vote is counted, that every voice has spoken.
Again, according to Harris's campaign, she is expected to speak today. Of course, we will have the latest both on air and online.
And Democrat Angela Alsobrooks took the victory last night after beating Republican Larry Hogan in the race for the Maryland U.S. Senate seat, making history as the first African-American woman to hold the seat.
Yeah, DC News Now's Jean-Marie Sissay is live this morning in Prince George's County. And Jean-Marie, how close was this race?
Yeah, good morning. Well, this is definitely history in the making for Marylanders and also for us here in Prince George's County. And the race was pretty close for this U.S. Senate seat, but Angela Alsobrooks ended up becoming victorious, and she did beat her opponent, Larry Hogan, by about 7% in the polls. Now, Prince George's County Executive Angela Alsobrooks had about 52.2% of the votes, and former Maryland Governor Larry Hogan had 45.3%. Now, both candidates were competing to fill former Maryland U.S. Senator Ben Cardin's seat when he announced he would not run for election in 2023. Now, this election was intense. Both candidates spoke on how competitive it was. Alsobrooks focused her campaign on relating to the middle-class workers and promising to fight for their concerns if elected. Now, both candidates spoke at their watch parties last night. Alsobrooks expressing her gratitude. Hogan did concede shortly after speaking with Alsobrooks, and he did take the time to congratulate her publicly.
Those Marylanders whose support I have yet to earn, I may not have won your vote, but I want you to know that I hear your voice, and I will be your senator too.
We proved that campaigns can be about so much more than just red versus blue. I kept stressing that we need to get back to the red, white, and blue.
Now, Alsobrooks says that she plans on heading up to Capitol Hill and fighting for Marylanders. For now, reporting in Largo, Maryland, I'm Jean-Marie Sissay, DC News Now.
All right, Jean-Marie, thank you. In Virginia, another victory for Democrats in the Senate. Yeah,
our Candace Cole joins us now live from Alexandria with more. Candace, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Well, Senator Tim Kaine is celebrating yet another victory, marking his third term now in the Senate since being first elected in 2012, securing 6 more years for his seat to serve there. Kaine defeated Republican-backed candidate and former Navy Captain Hung Cao by 57% of the vote. Kaine has a long history of serving in public office here in Virginia, first on Richmond City Council, then serving as the city's mayor. He would then become Lieutenant Governor of Virginia before becoming governor.
You may or may not, over the course of the next 6 years, agree or disagree with this or that, but I won't embarrass you. I won't let you down. I won't cause you to lose a moment of sleep, and we will keep moving Virginia and this country forward.
Well, it's just, look, we fought the good fight. You know, we finished the race and we kept the faith. That's all that matters.
Cao previously ran unsuccessfully against Virginia Congresswoman Jennifer Wexton back in 2022. Reporting live from Old Town Alexandria, Candace Cole, DC News Now.
All right, thank you, Candace. And in D.C., Initiative 83 winning on the ballot. This ballot measure would authorize ranked choice voting in elections with 3 or more candidates, allowing voters to rank their top choices of candidates. It would also allow voters who are not affiliated with a party to vote in any party's primary. And Ward 8 Councilmember Trayon White is staying in the D.C. Council.
Yeah, he is reelected, getting another term as a council member after being accused of accepting bribes for government contracts earlier this year. And now White defeated Republican candidate Nate Duringe by a landslide. Right now, D.C. Council is investigating his alleged misconduct. A report is expected to be released next month on those findings. The council says they will then determine whether White should be punished for his alleged actions. Time right now coming up on 6:10 on this Wednesday morning. Some local elections could impact the balance of the House.
That is right. Coming up after the break, we are tracking the results of races in Maryland and Virginia. And former President Trump declaring victory. He has now been elected president for a second time. We are tracking live results and the latest from Harris's campaign.
And let's take a live look outside this morning at the Capitol there. How are things looking, Jackie?
Yeah, well, out there right now, starting off in the lower 60s, and we're going to be running to right around 80 degrees later on today. Very warm Wednesday on tap. Won't be quite as warm as we'll get towards this upcoming weekend, though. Latest details right after the break.